Yo, what's going on, y'all? It's Cone, and the Clippers might actually doom the rest of the NBA. Tonight, they lost the Orlando Magic, falling to 4-11 on the season. They've been one of the worst teams in the entire NBA. They've got the same amount of wins as the Dallas Mavericks and the Charlotte Hornets, and less than the Memphis Grizzlies, who we've talked about having all this turmoil, and Dallas is going through no Anthony Davis and the Luka Doncic trade. The Clippers are in that bucket right now, and it has continued to get worse since I made my last video talking about the Clippers, because then, Kawhi Leonard wasn't healthy, but it felt like he might come back soon. He's not played in like 8 to 9 games right now, and the ankle injury that he suffered feels like it's pretty significant. Bradley Beal has been ruled out for the entirety of the season. We've got Derrick Jones Jr., who's going to be out about 6 weeks. The Clippers keep racking up injuries. James Harden is playing out of his mind. He is playing some of the best basketball he's played in years. Tonight had 31, 5, and 8, and it just didn't matter. They got smoked 111 to 129 to a powerless Magic team who has been looking better, but even still, this is one the Clippers should at least hope to compete in a little bit. All the old guys have looked terrible so far. Brook Lopez, Chris Paul, neither one of them have produced the way that you were hoping they would. Zubac has not been the all-NBA level guy he was last year. They're bad offensively. They're even worse defensively when that was their calling card. The Clippers are terrible. They look terrible right now. When they get Kawhi back, maybe things will be better, but this does not feel like a team that is anywhere near one of the top 4 to 5 to 6 teams in the Western Conference like most people predicted. At best, they are a play-in team, but they've got some competition in that range even when Kawhi Leonard goes ahead and returns, because the Blazers feel like they've been playing under their standards and they've dealt with injuries. I think they could move up a little bit. Utah has honestly been playing pretty decently so far this season. The Grizzlies, when they get Ja Morant back, I think there are some more wins there, and those are like your 9, 10, and 11 teams potentially. The Warriors, the Suns, the Wolves, the Spurs, Lakers, Rockets, Nuggets, Thunder, they're not passing any of those teams, so this feels like a Clippers team that at best, maybe they could pass the Suns if they fall off a cliff and look more like the team we thought before the season, but they've looked good so far. At best, it feels like the Clippers are fighting for that 9-10 play-in spot. They are 4-11. That is a long way to go ahead and climb out of this hole, even when you get Kawhi back, because they don't have the hardest schedule remaining, but it's not necessarily an easy one. They're right in the middle of the pack. Not to mention, even when Kawhi returns, he's going to miss more games. This is an utter disaster of a season for the Clippers. But we talked about that. What I more so want to talk about is the outcome and the consequences, because I'm a Thunder fan. If you didn't know, welcome to the channel. I consider myself the biggest Thunder fan in the world, and I've talked about this at length on Twitter, on the channel, a little bit on TikTok, Instagram, things like that. But the Thunder have the Clippers pick this year, specifically a pick swap. So wherever the Thunder's pick lands, probably going to be number 30. The Clippers get that one, although I think it actually goes to Washington from the Thunder, from the Clippers. It's this whole thing. But basically, the Thunder just take the Clippers pick wherever it goes ahead and lands. And right now, they've got the 8th best lottery odds, the 8th best odds to land the number 1 overall pick in this draft. I'll go ahead and flip over to Tankathon. This is a website, if you didn't know, where you can simulate the lottery, take a look at where teams are ranked in lottery odds right now. But yeah, the Clippers are tied with the Hornets for the 7th best odds. And that means that there is a 29.4%, let me go ahead and scroll over here, of that pick landing in the top 4, or 29% for the Clippers, because they lose some tiebreaker of some kind. That's pretty high. That's a pretty high chance relative to what you might expect. So let's go ahead and do a few lottery sims real quick. We'll do 10 of these. So the first sim, the Clippers, they stay there at number 8. Thunder get the 8th overall pick. This one, the Thunder, literally our second spin, the Thunder get the 1st overall pick. The Oklahoma City Thunder in this year's draft. Listen, I'm a Thunder fan, and even I feel bad about this. When we got all these picks, from the Clippers over the course of, the transition from the Russ PG era to the Shai era, I knew at some point we were going to have some big time hits, and one of them already happened, getting Jalen Williams with the Clippers pick. A lot of people talk about the Thunder getting Shai from that trade because obviously he's an MVP, but also we used a Clippers pick to get Jalen Williams. We got 2 All-NBA players out of that deal. It's one of the most lopsided deals ever. But there is also a chance that that deal gives the Thunder the number 1 overall pick in one of the most stacked tops of a draft class that we've seen in years. AJ Dybantsa, Darryn Peterson, Cam Boozer. I'm not a scout, but all those guys, from what I've seen, project to be franchise-altering talents, especially from the stuff I've read. Everybody's saying Darryn Peterson looks like a Kobe Light, and AJ Dybantsa has a little bit of a Tracy McGrady or Jason Tatum or something like that in him, and that Cam Boozer just does everything. He's got this elite production that's going to translate to the NBA level. Any 3 of those guys landing with the Thunder, I'd be over the moon. We could just get the 14th pick from the Clippers, and I'm feeling pretty good about it. Never mind number 1. to add one of those guys on a rookie scale contract to a team right now who, I don't, again, want to toot my favorite team's own horn, but they're 15-1. On pace for 75, 76 wins, with Jalen Williams, an all-NBA, all-defensive player, not even playing yet, and they currently have the highest average margin of victory of all time in a season, the best net rating, by far the best defense, and an MVP guy in Shai. It's the team that is by far and away the betting odd favorites to win the NBA Finals and go back-to-back. It feels like the Thunder are on the verge of a potential dynasty after winning it last year, playing far better so far to start the season, even with the injuries to not just Jada, but a lot of other guys. And you want to talk about how a dynasty starts, and truly, this parity era we've had in the NBA gets erased. The Thunder get the number 1 overall pick from the Clippers. Whether they wanted to flip it or keep it, I feel like 99% sure that we would keep it if the Thunder landed this spot, because you'd want to know how to avoid the new CBA. You bring in a star franchise level talent, adding them to this team alongside Chet, Jalen Williams, and Shai for a rookie scale contract. They'd be making pennies compared to the impact they'd be bringing to the table most likely for 3 to 4 years, even further down the line, because Sam Presti has a wizardry that just makes it so that everybody signs a little bit of a cheaper contract with the Thunder. It would be insane. This would be unprecedented. We've never seen anything like this where a team might give a team this dominant this type of pick. Like, I talked about that in a video, or I think it was a TikTok a couple days ago, and someone's like, oh, what about the Golden State Warriors? They won the title in 2022. They had this dynasty and they got James Wiseman. No, because that pick was from the Warriors. The Warriors lost like everybody to injury that season in 2021, and then they ended up grabbing one of the top picks in the draft because they were that bad and they were that injured, and they were like, yeah, let's just take a gap year, and then they won the championship. But also, James Wiseman was nowhere near the caliber of a prospect that any of these guys are. And even if the Thunder get like top 4 in this draft, that is still a massive game changer for them for the rest of the NBA. Let's do a few more spins while we're here. This is number 3. Thunder get the 3rd overall pick. So Cam Boozer, probably Oklahoma City Thunder. Thunder get the 3rd overall pick. Cam Boozer, welcome back. Nothing here. Stay down there at 8. That's fine. I would absolutely take that. Ooh, fall to 9. That's really tough there. Fall down to 9 again. What is that? 6. Thunder get Darryn Peterson, AJ Dybantsa, whoever Dallas doesn't take. Dallas, that's huge for them right there. Fall down to 9. Let's do a few more here. Stay down there at 9. They could fall potentially. Stay there at 8. And stay there at 8. One last one for good luck. Thunder grab the 4th overall pick, and maybe it's not one of those top 3 guys, but there's also a bunch of other players who are just absolutely insane in this draft class, or this pick now is then flipped for multiple assets, or it's maybe used in an upgrade kind of salary consolidation trade. And also, yeah, we've got pick 10 from the Utah Jazz. If that's outside the top 10, that is a Thunder pick, and they've been playing better than that level right now with how bad some of these teams are. I don't even think it's insane to think that Utah could be a play-in team. And also the pick from Philadelphia down here at number 18, as long as that's outside the top 4. Oh, and this Houston pick also goes to the Thunder. Yeah, we have 4 first-round picks, by the way, in addition to the one that might be number 1. Sam Presti needs 58 million statues built in Oklahoma City. Every building should be in the shape of Sam Presti. When I build a house or buy a house or whatever, I'll remodel it to just Sam Presti. Squidward's house is like a totem head or an Easter Island head or whatever it is. Sam Presti's head is just going to be the shape of my home. They inducted him to the Oklahoma Hall of Fame. He needs like his own Hall of Fame, to be honest, for what he has done. And yeah, maybe the Clippers don't keep playing this bad. They get Kawhi back. Harden keeps playing at this level, and at least they get themselves into the play, and maybe they make the playoffs, but that still could be the 15th or 16th pick on top of the Thunder getting Shai and Jalen Williams out of that trade. It continues to become more and more the most lopsided deal ever. It's really not even a conversation at this point. And obviously this poses a massive problem for the rest of the NBA because the Thunder still have extra picks in the future. We still have some very intriguing assets. You want to know who owns a Mavericks pick in a couple of years? The Oklahoma City Thunder, as the second youngest ever team to win the championship last season. And now has Shai, Chet, and Jalen Williams all locked up on long-term contracts. I'm not trying to brag. I'm just trying to talk about the absurdity of the situation that we have found ourselves in with this Shai-Paul George trade. It's unprecedented. And I'm seeing fans of other teams begging the Clippers, like, please win games so that the Thunder don't get this pick. Do you know how insane a scenario has to be for other people to root for the Clippers and James Harden? That's the situation that the NBA is in at the moment. And listen, as a Thunder fan, I'm not going to pass up on the 1st overall pick. That sounds incredible. But if you're a fan of another team, you should be probably rooting for the Clippers to win as many games as possible, unless you just want to see chaos and utter destruction. Because if the Thunder add one of those top guys to this group that is already here, we're not talking about a dynasty. We're talking about one of the greatest sports dynasties that could go on to win like 3-4 championships in a row, which I would like to see. So I'm kind of cool with that. But yeah, That's the way it could go. So just wanted to talk about it because I touched on it a little bit when we talked about the Clippers in the past couple of videos that we've spoken about them in, but I think we needed to make a full breakdown because I don't think people truly realize like how real these odds are. Even if they fall down to like number 10, number 9, like the last few years, we've seen some lottery jumps. The lottery winners over the past few years, the Mavericks had the 11th best odds and they jumped up 10 to grab the number 1 overall pick. The Atlanta Hawks were at the 10th spot. They jumped 9 spots. And then we had the Spurs jump up 2 from number 3 to number 1. Magic jumped up from 2 to 1. Pistons jumped up from 2 to 1. Timberwolves jumped up from 3 to 1. 7 to 1 for the Pelicans. Ever since they flattened out the lottery odds, we see jumps. No one who's had the best odds has gotten the first overall pick. In fact, more often they fall to number 5. That's happened to the Pistons a number of times over the past couple of years, but teams jump. So if you're like, yeah, the Clippers will be fine, they'll win some more games. If their pick is in the lottery, there is a chance. There's absolutely a chance. Let's do one more spin. Let's do one more spin for the hell of it. Let's do it. Number 9, whatever. I should have landed on the last one. A couple more. Can I get one more? 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 Okay, it's not number 2. There we go. Portland getting number 1. Portland getting AJ Dybantsa, Darryn Peterson. That'd be kind of sick. Yeah, that's where we're at right now with the situation. The Clippers might doom the rest of the NBA. Might be the way it goes. It might have already been done. I mean, they kind of gave the Thunder Shai and Jalen Williams, so they kind of already did it, but they might steal the fate of the NBA for the next 5 years single-handedly, it's just so insane to think about where that trade was and where it is now. I'll real quick touch on the rest of the games. I wasn't planning on doing this as like a crazy recap or anything, but let's just touch on the rest of the games real fast. Grizzlies annihilate the Kings 137-96. I just made a video talking about how the Kings have hit rock bottom. You know, they ruined everything, and somehow it got even worse literally the next day. We saw Zach LaVine do his best with 26 points, but they gave up 29 to Santi Aldama and 21 to Jacques Landale. That is the way it is going. It is a John Morant, Jaren Jackson-less Grizzlies team that put up 137 points on their heads. Tyrese Maxey dropped 54 in a win for the Sixers in overtime, 54, 5 and 9. Ryan Rollins had 32, 6 and 14. It was a duel there, but Maxey goes ahead and gets the job done. He's been so insanely good this season. He is absolutely an all-NBA player right now. They're giving him 1 billion minutes per game because they need him. Also, Paul George, a much better second game from him. He ended up with, I think, 21 points in this one. Yeah, 21 points, 5 rebounds, 3 assists, 2 steals, 7 of 12 shooting in 24 minutes. He looked phenomenal, a lot more like Paul George. And then the Spurs beat the Atlanta Hawks 135 to 126. We saw 25 from Keldon Johnson, 26 from De'Aaron Fox, 15 from Devin Vassell, 20 from Sean Penny. This Hawks defense, this was one of the games, the biggest examples this season of how their defense might show some regression at some point. You had 38 from Nickeil Alexander-Walker. He had 8 threes, did everything he could. 26 from Jalen Johnson, 16 from Porzingis, but they just couldn't keep up with the scoring output. They couldn't defend the Spurs whatsoever, and those were the games, and that is the situation in the NBA right now. Let me know what you think's going to happen. Like, what does your gut feeling tell you? Where are the Clippers going to land? How screwed are they? What should they do from here? Because people have now started to talk about, do they just try and move off of James Harden? Because the way he is playing right now, I mean, he might have some value. He's got a big contract. He's up there in age, but he's, again, playing some of the best basketball we've seen. I don't think it's a lot of value because he's in his late 30s, but I do think there's probably some still there. I'm sure you could get pieces back for like a Chris Dunn, definitely some for Zubac. Like, if they just want to tear this whole thing down, they could. I don't think they will, because, you know, Steve Ballmer, the Clippers don't really love to do that. They just built the Intuit Dome, and I don't think they want to give the Thunder the number 1 overall pick to extend out the timeline of this potential dynasty. So I don't think they're going to do it now, but this summer, if it continues this way, I could absolutely see it. Like, just nothing has gone their way. I really thought they were going to be really good this season. Instead, they're absolutely terrible. But yeah, let me know what your thoughts are, your takeaways. Oh, also, last thing, we got the news today from Kelly Iko saying that LaMelo Ball could kind of want to trade out of Charlotte, but LaMelo Ball, quote tweeted, I think, with a clown emoji saying that it's fake. Honestly, I read it more as just the Hornets are kind of tired of the LaMelo Ball situation, which I kind of already thought was the case, just with the injuries, the inability to stay on the court. It's not surprising. So yeah, maybe we'll see a LaMelo Ball trade, and maybe I'll make a video about that at some point soon. But those are my thoughts on the NBA games from today and the situation. Yeah, am I going to feel bad if the Thunder go ahead and break basketball? Absolutely, because it's my favorite thing, and I love the NBA as a whole, but also I'm a Thunder fan first. So yeah, let's go ahead and let's go number 1 overall pick. I'll trust me, we will do a live stream for the draft lottery if that's the situation that the Thunder are in, or it's a Clippers lottery pick on the line, especially if they're like top 10. It has the chance to be the single best reaction video on this channel for the history of forever. But for right now, I appreciate you watching. Leave a like and subscribe if you enjoyed. Hit the notification bell so you don't miss out on future videos. I'll see y'all later. Real one, say it back.